UTE LEMPER, performing at Broadcasting House this Friday afternoon. Here is Love. Vanna Gierig playing piano, Tito Castro bandoneon, Don Falzone bass. Welcome back to In Tune.
Hello, hello.
Lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much.
We know you as an interpreter of such a rich and wide-ranging range of repertoire. When did you decide you wanted your own voice as a songwriter to come out?
Well, that started quite a while ago. I would say probably after the album Punishing Kiss, which was a British-produced album here with the Divine Comedy and Nick Cave, Elvis Costello, the Tom Waits song, Scott Walker. And for the first time, that was the year 2000, for the first time I was suddenly in a contemporary music domain. And yet it felt a little strange to do these songs of these living other singer-songwriters and not the historical repertoire of all of those dead composers like Weill and Brel and the Piaf songs and so on. And I thought, let me see what I have to say and how I can say it. Words were always there in my head and my mind, but more of a challenge was actually to go and sit and invent some nice chord changes for the words.
How influenced do you think you've been by the repertoire that you've sung over the past 20 years?
Well, it's in a funny way, my songs are not at all theatrical in the way it isn't there not like a Kurt Weill song or even like a Brel song. They're rather poetic, soundscape, easygoing. Some of them are political and dig a little deeper. At least the lyrics definitely are sometimes heavyweight. But the music itself, I would say, is more inspired by jazz and blues and beautiful, chords, minor chords. Everything is more of a contemporary feel to it. Not the historical, and definitely not a German Umpa feel to it. Definitely not. You won't find that in my chords.
Well, the show that you're performing tonight is called Angels Over Berlin and the World, and obviously there's a lot of your life journey in it, from Berlin out to Paris to the United States, where you live now.
Well, that show tonight in the Barbican is very much a journey through 25, 30 years of music I've been living in. There is a big chapter of Berlin, Angels Over Berlin, of course, the Weill repertoire, the Brecht songs, the Berlin Cabaret songs, Friedrich Holländer, the Blue Angel, also a great song written by Philip Glass called Streets of Berlin, and political comedy and satire on everything today existing in the world and especially Berlin. Also one of my songs, Ghosts of Berlin, about the Berlin I know the best, which is the Berlin of the 80s, the Berlin of the Cold War.
Well, let's talk a bit about that, because, you grew up in Münster, in provincial Germany. Perfect place, I guess, not to be a rebel teenager in. When you went to Berlin, everything suddenly changed. Is it a bit like sort of people coming to London and the streets are paved with gold sort of thing?
No, I was already a rebel growing up in Münster because it was so conservative, because there was a church at every corner of the street and was far too much dogma and moralistic pretense in this place, and I just had to break out of it. I could not fit in and I could not feel that normality I was requested to feel, and I was a difficult teenager early on, and then I studied in Vienna, first of all, drama school at the Rheinland Seminar, and after that I came to Berlin to perform and to be on stage, already as a professional actress, but definitely very inspired by this realism in Berlin, the ugliness of the wall dividing East and West, and yet the very vibrant cultural underground.
And there's a real sort of liberal counterculture. I think it was the one place in Germany where if you lived in Berlin, you were exempt from military conscription. So
yes.
All sorts of people went there to get away from that.
Yeah, all sorts of paradise birds, free thinkers. It was a very special time. The years of the 70s and 80s in Berlin. It was very inspiring and a wake-up call for everyone, but certainly for me, coming from Vienna, this dusty old Kaiser city, into this crass reality of the Cold War. And yet, there was just so much theater going on in those years. There was Peter Stein at the Schaubühne with the fabulous Chekhov inscenations, and it was just very inspiring all in all. But just certainly as a young German, inspiring to think about the past, the war, that Germany I lived in, West Germany, where it was a strange Germany, still occupied by the Allies, and yet there you had to pass the big Russian sector to even get to West Berlin, which was in the middle of the East Bloc, of course. So it was a wake-up call. I was a very young, angry German in those years, angry about the past, about the generations of my parents and grandparents, and just angry about the reality, the world I lived in. Something was not right about it. And yes, the songs of Kurt Weill, of Hans Eisler, the Berlin Cabaret songs, all of that gave me a perfect German repertoire to live in and to speak out and to sing out all those doubts and questions and rages I felt.
You're going to perform again for us now. What are we going to hear next?
I was thinking that we present you a little medley in Yiddish, of course, a big part of the Berlin culture in those years pre-war, and now again vibrant Jewish culture in Berlin, definitely. And I do want to mention my fabulous band with me. We're so much looking forward to present tonight the songs, the journey through the world, and they're definitely a big part of my family, my presentation, and my artistic identity.
Well, we've got Don Tuto and Varna with us in the studio, so let's hear them once again with you.